2 men arrested at Timeri Bus Park for possession of unlicensed firearm and ammunition. GPF, 2 men were arrested earlier today during an intelligence-led police operation at the Timeri Bus Park in Georgetown. At approximately 10:30 a.m., law enforcement officers stopped and searched a black Nissan Juke, bearing registration number PZZ 4712, resulting in the discovery of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition. The vehicle was driven by Jerry Anderson, who was accompanied by Raphael Watts, a 37-year-old gold miner from Zeelugt housing scheme. During the search, police uncovered a 9mm pistol, along with 1 magazine and 10 9mm rounds of ammunition. Both men were immediately taken into custody and are currently assisting investigators at the Brickdam police station as the investigation continues. Further details will be provided as the investigation progresses. Centenarian Granny Bengie of Region 7 passes away at 103. The community of Bartica and the wider Region 7 mourn the passing of beloved centenarian Granny Bengie, who turned 103 years old in June this year. Granny Bengie, known for her warmth and wisdom, was a cherished figure in her community, and her passing marks the end of a remarkable life spanning more than a century. Her longevity and vibrant presence made her a symbol of resilience and strength for the residents of Bartica. Many in the community held Granny Bengie in high esteem, and her loss is deeply felt by relatives, friends, and neighbors. The community extends its heartfelt condolences to her family during this time of grief. Granny Bengie's memory will live on in the hearts of those who had the privilege of knowing her. Mikhail Rodriguez, known as the Guyanese Critic, charged with causing grievous bodily harm. Social media personality Mikhail Rodriguez, widely known as the Guyanese Critic, appeared in court this morning to face a charge of causing grievous bodily harm. The charge stems from an incident on September 29 at Montre nightclub in Ity, where Rodrigues is accused of using a firearm to strike Berbice businessman Brian Persaud across the face. Rodrigues has denied the assault allegations, but was granted bail in the sum of $100,000 during his court appearance. He was handcuffed and removed from the courtroom after the hearing, and held in the prison facility until his bail was posted. Businessman Brian Persaud filed a police report 3 weeks ago, alleging that while he was at the nightclub with relatives and standing at the bar, Rodrigues pulled out a gun and struck him in the face and head, causing serious injuries. Persaud detailed the injuries in his statement to the police. Rodrigues has maintained that he was attacked by someone in the nightclub and may have mistakenly retaliated against the wrong individual. The case is ongoing as investigations continue. President Ali announces arrival of Qatari specialists to address cardiac surgery backlog in Guyana. President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali has announced a major healthcare initiative that will bring cardiac specialists from Qatar to Guyana to perform surgeries, helping to eliminate the country's backlog of cardiac surgery cases. The announcement was made during the sod turning ceremony for the $6.5 billion Lethem Regional Hospital on Sunday. The president emphasized that this milestone is a result of the government's active diplomacy and growing partnerships with international allies, particularly Qatar. In the next 6 months, we're going to work with our international partners to zero the waiting list in cardiac surgery in this country, starting with our pediatric surgeries. This is the real work we're doing, President Ali stated. The initiative will not only address the current backlog, but will also prevent its recurrence by bolstering Guyana's healthcare infrastructure and capabilities. He further stressed the importance of promoting primary healthcare, public health education, and mental health initiatives as part of the country's overall healthcare strategy. We have to now change our lifestyle to avoid these types of surgeries. Whilst we have the facility is not meant that we must go and push ourselves to get into it. The facility must be there as the last option, President Ali remarked, highlighting the need for healthier living and preventive care. This announcement comes as part of broader efforts to strengthen Guyana's healthcare system. In addition to tackling the surgery backlog, the government aims to collect baseline public health data to improve long-term healthcare planning. If we have baseline public health information for all our young children and young people, we can plan 30 years ahead. What are some of the things that we will face, how we have to plan our healthcare investment, the president explained. The partnership with Qatar is one of several initiatives to deepen bilateral relations. Last month, Guyana and Qatar signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, focusing on economic, commercial, and technical cooperation. Both countries are exploring opportunities for collaboration in fields such as trade, investment, energy, education, health, and culture. Government of Guyana awards contracts to market crude from floating production storage and offloading vessels. The Government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Natural Resources, is pleased to announce the awarding of contracts to international firms for the marketing of Guyana's share of crude oil from 3 floating production storage and offloading FPSO vessels. Following a competitive procurement process initiated in September 2024, the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board, NPTAB, has selected 2 companies, BB Energy Trading Limited, to market crude from the Liza Unity and Prosperity FPSOs, JE Energy, to market crude from the Liza Destiny FPSO. A total of 27 bids were submitted to NPTAB as part of the tendering process. The evaluation, conducted on a lot-by-lot basis, determined the most responsive bidders in accordance with the set evaluation criteria. The combined premium per barrel from the selected companies amounts to $1.85, a significant 93% increase from the 96 cents premium achieved during the 2023 to 2024 period. This reflects Guyana's strengthening position in the international oil market and the country's growing capacity to secure favorable terms for its crude. The contracts will span a 12-month period, starting in 2024. The Ministry of Natural Resources remains committed to ensuring that the proceeds from the oil and gas sector contribute to national development and benefit all Guyanese citizens. University of Guyana to proceed with graduation ceremonies amid tuition fee clarifications. The University of Guyana, UG, has confirmed that graduation ceremonies for more than 3,500 students will proceed as scheduled in early November, while issues surrounding tuition fees for some students are being addressed. The ceremonies will take place from November 7th to 9th and on November 16th, despite ongoing concerns about tuition payments among this year's graduating cohort. In a statement released over the weekend, the university sought to clarify the current situation following confusion stemming from the recent announcement by President Irfan Ali about free tuition at the University of Guyana. Some students who are slated to graduate this year had assumed that their outstanding tuition debts were forgiven as part of the president's announcement. The University of Guyana has emphasized its support for the implementation of free tuition wherever it can be sustainably offered. However, it also pointed out that the recent announcement did not alter its established policies for this year's graduation. The institution is working closely with the government of Guyana to address issues related to the implementation of free tuition and to resolve any outstanding payments owed by prospective graduates and continuing students. The university reiterated that while modalities for addressing these matters are being worked out, all eligible students are expected to graduate on time. UG also highlighted that even before the announcement of free tuition, it had been supporting students for the past 4 years by allowing thousands to complete their studies without fully paying their fees. UG further noted that tuition fees are critical to the institution's operations, with more than 50% of its expenses covered by student fees. As the academic year concludes in January 2025, the university is exploring all available options to maintain its operations and protect the interests of students and staff. The university is committed to ensuring that the upcoming graduation ceremonies proceed smoothly, while continuing to address the concerns of students regarding their tuition and other outstanding fees. Businessman freed after prosecutor fails to produce case file in illegal gun and ammo possession case. The Diamond Magistrate Court on Monday dismissed illegal gun and ammunition possession charges against 42-year-old businessman Weston Pickering due to the prosecution's repeated failure to present a case file. Pickering, who was arrested and charged in August 2024, had been released on $700,000 bail but was freed after months of procedural delays. According to Pickering's lawyer, Bernard De Silva, the presiding magistrate, Dylan Bess, had consistently warned the prosecution about its lack of preparedness. During the hearing on Monday morning, the prosecutor was once again unable to present the necessary case file. This morning was set for a peremptory hearing. Again, they are without their file, De Silva told the media. The magistrate had given the prosecution until 1330 HRS to produce the evidence, but the prosecutor failed to meet the deadline. With no case file or evidence presented, Magistrate Bess was compelled to dismiss the charges and free Pickering.
Point out it is shameful, and the government is shameless, to offer only 100,000. We have shown consistently that people can get more money in a more structured and predictable way. This here is just their response to our cause and the fact that they lack a plan.
Thank you. Do you think the government has done enough to address the woes of citizens regarding inflation?
No, the government has not until now produced a raft of measures. I think we had given them some 7 to 12 points that they can utilize to help bring down the cost of living. Of course, a lot of it starts with a livable wage, which we have been calling for. We have pointed out to them, it's not like if it is a big set of imported inflation. Celery ain't got no imported inflation. Pint of broom ain't got no imported inflation. Pak chai ain't got no imported inflation. Planting, you name it. We have said to them that the government needs a structured approach to agriculture in which we expand agriculture to all regions to make them sustainable. And once those regions are producing the food they need, the prices will come down because one, you're increasing output to absorb the money that goes into the economy. And therefore, because you have increased the amount of goods there, food stuff there, it will impact prices downwards and in a positive way. So that was one measure. We also pointed out that you can give assistance, but you got to be able to do it in a structured way. In the area of fuel for people transporting goods to the market. But of course, if you bring that under the PPP, it will become a mechanism for corruption. That's the only thing they know. But there's need for a raft of measures. If you put money into the economy and you don't do the things to increase production and productivity, you might be fueling the inflation that Jack Dale was talking about. But when we talked about it, we talk about putting the resources and at the same time taking the anti-inflationary measures to ensure that your prices are good in the market.